We have significant breaking news from the NHL. It appears Rangers captain Jacob Trouba is done with the New York Rangers. He will be moved either by trade or by waivers over the next day or two. We'll discuss the scenario and how this came to be coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some pretty significant news regarding the New York Rangers and their captain Jacob Trouba here today. Now, for the past couple of weeks, we know there's been a lot of turmoil in New York and a lot of rumors about some significant changes coming to one of the NHL's most historic franchises. It had a good start to the NHL's 24-25 regular season, but then ended up in a bit of a tailspin. And even when they were winning, GM Chris Drury wasn't really thrilled with his team's performance and had concerns that they could be the contenders that they really hoped and thought they could be when the NHL's regular season began. Now, of course, we know Jacob Trouba has been a target of a lot of criticism and from a variety of standpoints, whether it be his contract, his on-ice play, what have you. We know in the summertime, there was a lot of discourse around this player, and there was a really close possibility that he was going to be moved, and a lot of close things came to be, and unfortunately never got close enough to be completed. There was talk of him being traded, a lot of that which was directed at the Detroit Red Wings. He does have a modified no trade. I think part of the issue was he had a full no trade before, and it was changing on July 1st to a modified, and the rumors leaked out ahead of time, and I think between Trouba and his agent, they knew what was going down or attempting to go down, so they could be strategic with that list that they had to submit for which teams they were going to block. And even though I think long-term Jacob Trouba might be more inclined and willing to accept playing in his home state of Michigan with the Red Wings, it wasn't time for him due to family issues. Of course, we know his wife was completing a doctorate, a residency in New York, and they didn't want to have to be apart, for family purposes. It just, wasn't ideal for Trouba. But based on everything that went down in the summer and everything coming into the season, I think it's fair to say that Jake knew this was going to be his last year with the Rangers. No matter what happens, barring some weird miracle, he was going to be gone. And that, from a family perspective, they were going to be starting over next year in a new NHL city. But things have not really gotten to that point yet. We're nowhere near the end of the year. And here we are with the Rangers wanting to make significant changes, not being comfortable enough that they can contend for a Stanley Cup, which is ultimately what their goal is here. So this morning we got a lot of speculation that Jacob Trouba is done with the Rangers, okay? We've heard that he will not play in the game this evening. He's being held out for what they're referring to as roster management, so basically making sure he doesn't get injured. We hear a lot of that type of stuff around the NHL trade deadline. Sometimes if players are getting close to being dealt, teams hold them out to make sure that they don't have anything happen to, kind of make the deal go sideways on them. So obviously the Rangers are comfortable that they can get a deal done. It is possible if they don't lead to that he could end up on waivers. Now, today's waiver wire point of 2 o'clock Eastern has just passed here a short time ago, and we did confirm that Trouba is not on waivers today. So that indicates to us, and from I know from Athletics' Arthur Staple, he's saying from what he's hearing, the Rangers did not put him on waivers because they're pretty confident that they will get a trade done in the next 24 hours. Essentially, he's been talking to Chris Drury over the last few days. They've been trying to expand his list and destinations. The Rangers reportedly have a variety of offers that they're mulling over and trying to see where he'll go to, because I believe what we're hearing is all the teams that are making offers right now are all teams he has blocked with his modified no trade list. We've heard about Columbus. We've heard about the Anaheim Ducks. We've heard to some degree Detroit, although it's going to be a lot more complicated now than it would have been in the summer. We've heard Buffalo. There was some ridiculous rumors about Ottawa, which have been shot down by numerous NHL insiders. So that's not happening. But there's other teams too. I mean, we know there's a bunch out there. So at the end of the day, Jacob Trouba will not play for the Rangers tonight. It's very, very possible he never plays for the Rangers again. I know the waivers thing is they do have something lined up for him. If he doesn't cooperate and play ball and accept one of the deals, they're going to put him on waivers, and they have a similar scenario lined up like they did with Barclay Goodrow, where a team will claim him. And there is, I think, probably about 7-8 teams in the NHL that can claim him full cap hit and not have to do anything, roster-wise to make it work. So there is that. And that's why we thought it could happen today. They were kind of trying to force a decision. Sounds like they're willing to give him at least one more day here. So Jacob Trouba's time with the Rangers is done. I know some fans think it's dirty what they're doing. It is kind of, forcing the situation. They're using every tool they have in their arsenal here to move on from their captain. It just seems kind of crazy in a way. I wonder if they're having regrets giving him the C. Should they have gone in a different direction? It's really hard to say what all the internal feelings are, but my big question too is what it's going to do to the room. How do his teammates feel about this? We've heard nothing but positive comments from other teammates, and there's also belief that this is not going to be it for the Rangers. This is going to be one of probably a few, or at least a couple, significant moves around the team. We've heard, Chris Kreider's name being out there. I know Mika Zibanejad has a full no-trade clause in his contract, but there has been some rumors that teams are approaching and talking to the Rangers about him as well. If they get a good offer that they like, I'm sure that they will approach him, but it's not really as likely to happen, of course. And like I said, there was the New York Post to put out that ridiculous rumor this morning in their article saying that the Rangers were zoning in on Brady Tkachuk, which, like I said, other NHL insiders said it's complete BS. There's no talks really whatsoever. Like there was maybe a few talks regarding something different a few weeks ago, and that was it. I think the Senators are shopping for a D. They know the Rangers are looking to make some moves. I think they talked to them about one of their defensemen, not Trouba. I don't see any way Trouba waives to go to Ottawa. I don't think that's who they can't take another $8 million defenseman who's only going to be under contract for another year. That just doesn't make any sense for Ottawa. So don't buy into any of this Brady Tkachuk stuff. There's just no way that is even remotely being considered or possible at this time. But Trouba is done. That much we can say. Just a matter of where he goes and how he gets there. And we should hopefully find out sometime over the course of this weekend. Like I said, it's Friday afternoon. Trade could go down tonight. Trade could go down over the weekend. It sounds like it's close, but again, until it's done, it's not done, and we don't know the final details on how that's all going to be. But for right now, the Rangers are beginning a new cycle of significant change and starting with their captain. Let me know where you think he ends up, how this plays out, and what other moves could follow. Could we see a coaching change? What other names might be in play here that would make sense for the Rangers to do a shakeup to have their Stanley Cup aspirations be something that they can actually contend for this year? Let me know what you think in the comments. We'll discuss further. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and stick around. We'll keep you up to date with all the news, rumors, and analysis of all 32 NHL teams. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.